Right, I always forget to do an intro for videos, so it's just a quick intro. I bought a static static arc 200A arc welder about 5 months ago, somewhere around there. A friend was wondering about it, but he was worried about the 60% duty cycle. If it really is 60%, because a lot of Chinese machines they just advertise something as that and it's nowhere near that, or it breaks down before it actually gets to what it's stated to be. Now what this test is, it's not weld quality or anything like that, or pull control. All it is just basic stress test, just blasting a bit of metal and just torturing it to see if it can actually do 6 minutes of constant use inside 10 minutes, because that's what it is, the duty cycle. It's measured over a 10-minute period of time. If it only lasts 5 minutes, it's 50%, 4 minutes, 40%, and so on and so on. It's advertised as 60%, so it should do 6 minutes inside 10 minutes, sorry, before it decides to shut down and cool down for a bit. And as you'll see by the video, I'll speed it on a little bit because I'm sure you don't want to sit through 15 minutes of video of me arc welding. So I'll speed it up by 2 times if I can. I'm using different software, brand new software, so I'm not sure how to do that, but if I can, I'll speed it up by 2 times, and if you really want to do it, just slow the video down to 50% if you really want to time it yourself. I didn't have a timer or anything like that on the screen. So anyway, this is it. Right, just a quick video on this welder that I got. It's cheap enough. It's not a cheap. It's cost at the time of buying it anyway, it's cost £75. Not sure if it's come down in money since then, but that was only about 5 months ago, somewhere around there. It comes with a UK 3-pin plug. Do yourself a favour, the first job you do, put yourself a 16 amp connector on it, 16 amp socket, 3-pin 16 amp, and put in a dedicated supply as well, because that was popping fuses. So I was getting about halfway down an electrode and it had stopped working, and the fuse was kept on blowing in the plug. I was compounding the issue because I was using an extension lead as well, and then plugging that into an extension lead so it's even further away from the socket. So what I've done is, I'm not going to show you the electrics because obviously it's a video, I don't want anyone blowing themselves up, but the dedicated supply, I'll zoom out a little bit. It's that thicker black lead. It's going to its own dedicated breaker as well, so it's not connected into the same breaker as sockets. In the winter you might have a heater running, you might have another machine running, a few other machines. You don't want to be running this as well at the same time on the same circuit. So that's that black lead going along there, and it just goes down to the wall to a 16 amp socket, and then that's my extension lead, because you don't want to be arc welding inside with no ventilation. You'll smoke yourself out of the shed. That just goes up to the welder itself. That's the back of it. You've got the on-off switch and a fan. Nothing particularly spectacular at the back, but this first look, it looks a lot more than £75 worth. On some cheap machines you don't get these as well, you just get the current. Got 2 USBs so you can charge your phone up at the same time. But yeah, it's a fairly good machine. Well, fairly good, it's a damn good machine actually for the price. Got to about there and I did notice I could see a flare from behind, so I should cut through. The arc blasted a hole, obviously because the metal's molten. It's filled it in. I've got a bit of a drip there. You can see it here as well, where it's been dripping through. And that is, I haven't got measuring tape or anything with there, steel rule. What's that? These are 3.2. So it's about 5 or 6 mil. No, it's about 5 mil into it. 5 or 6. It's not 6, obviously. It's about 5 mil thick. That was bowed that way. So that's fairly hot. That's very hot still. One thing you might want to do is upgrade the clamp, because the clamp did get a little bit hot and it flamed up a little bit. The clamps that do come with this, they've got lines filed or not filed, machined into the actual clamp as well, so it holds the electrode at 3 different angles, whichever one you want, and it stops it flopping about. If they were smooth, you're holding a round object with a metal smooth object, obviously when you're trying to weld, the welding stick will be moving. But that was on 200. You're going to have to trust me, because I forgot to do that. I forgot to prove it by recording a little bit of it before sticking the camera on the tripod and starting to weld. But you might see it anyway when I step away a little bit. You might be able to see that white tick mark there in the same position that it is in now. That's on max. I've got the arc force and the hot start set as middle, set in the middle. You can't get these mixed up, because obviously it shows you there. If you know you're welding, obviously you know which ones these go in. That's they're the connector type. You've got to make sure when you stick them in and turn them, you don't just turn them in loose. They've got to be tight, because you are sending a lot of amps through these. You don't want them arcing. You don't want it arcing inside there. You don't want it oxidising either. So you put them in, you'll turn it to a certain point, and they'll get tight. That is actually spinning. The reason why is it's this rubber here that's spinning on the actual lead itself. But so you can't go tighter than what that allows. That's the electrode clamp. One thing I've got now, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember now. I've got this one. I've got a Draper arc welder and MIG welder. It's a flux core MIG welder. That's I think that's only 100 amps, something like that for arc. But I got it for to be a MIG welder. Now I can't remember which one it was, whether it was this one or the Draper, but the lead came out of the electrode clamp. And that's an easy fix. All it is, it's effectively like that. It's just a lead that's bolted on. What it is, you've got one screw just there, look, that one screw, you take that one screw out, and this handle section here slides down, and you've got access to the bolt and the wire. You just tighten it down, you clamp it down properly, and then you just slide that back up again and put the screw back in. But to be honest, these are cheap enough. You're going with every single cheap machine that you get. So it might be worth just ordering an upgraded version of one of these, or just stick with it if you're just doing a little bit and you're not going as mental as what I've just done. So yeah, that's gone nearly 15 minutes without cutting out. It's supposed to be, it's advertised as 60% duty cycle at 200 amps. Duty cycle is measured over 10 minutes. So over a 10-minute span you can use it for 6 minutes. You're supposed to be able to use it for 6 minutes before it shuts down for a little bit to cool down, or it starts stuttering, it starts sputtering and struggling because the machine's overheating. But as you can see, I've just gone 15 minutes there and it was still going strong. So I'm safe to say, I'm happy to say that that's actually 100% duty cycle on my test anyway. I'm outside, it's not hot weather. These are 3.25mm electrodes. I haven't got any 4mm. I'm not a professional either, so I'm not sure like if the larger electrode that you get, the more it will struggle. Also, this is advertised to go up to 4mm electrodes. I wouldn't risk going higher than that, but you can see that's 3.2 is easy enough for hobby use anyway. One thing I forgot to do, I forgot to chip the slag off it. There's a little bit of slag here from another machine, this Draper that I'm using at the moment. I'm going to do a little review on this. It's not doing as well as the arc, as you'd expect. It's about half the power, I think. I can't actually remember. 120 amp. The static arc was 200 amps, so it's not going to do as well with 3.2s. But anyway, forgot to chip the slag off. Don't know where my brush is. Tortured. But in fairness, the test I was trying to do, is not so much the quality of my welding, because that's relative, you know what I mean? I mean, you're going to be better than me, but it's just to see, that was the duty cycle test, to see how far to go before it cut out, which it didn't actually cut out. This one's less violent and the weld is a little bit better, but I could be concentrating more this time than the last time. But anyway, that's see if I can find my brush. And in conclusion, for the price, I would recommend it. For hobby use, you'll never have it cooling down on you. For semi-professional use, same again. Professional use, we're using the same welder all day, every day. You'd be looking at something and with some kind of warranty with it, or parts replacement, that kind of thing. This, you're not going to get any part replacement for it. If it breaks down, you throw it away and get another one. You might be able to get parts replaced. I mean, you can get consumables, but if the torch breaks down, you'll have to get another. Sorry, I'm thinking about Meg, because I've got a Draper Meg. You just get a different clamp, different electro clamp. There's not going to be a lot in it that you do maintenance on, and for the price point, it's £75. So you're really going to take something apart and try to fix it to save yourself £75. You're not. You're just going to get another one. Whereas if you're doing it for a business and you rely on a machine, you're more likely to have a spare machine that's not as good, that'll just get you by until you have spare parts or another machine delivered to you. And that's what you pay for. That's what the much more expensive machines give you. They'll give you that peace of mind that you can just pick up the phone, say to them, machine's broke down, what's wrong with it? They might be able to tell you exactly what's wrong with it there and then, how to fix it, or just send you another one. You'll get it the next day, or sometimes, depending on where you are, the same day. But I'm going on. As far as the machine is concerned, on the price point, if you're wondering, shall I get it, shall I not? I'd definitely get it. Compared to getting another machine that you see these YouTube videos and they just say, yeah, it turns on and off, or yeah, it just does a little weld. Definitely go for the ARC 200. They're not paying me anything. I'm not getting a free machine or anything like that. It's just an honest review. So there it is.